Hello world! Curses of madness be upon you all, for life fighters. Apex Legends The First Ship continues today with its 5th chapter, and this one really steps things up a gear ready for next week. But we'll put the hype aside for now, and we're going to jump right into this week's quest, the third wheel. The Paradise Lounge. The freaking head had amnesia, like that's even a real thing. She gives new meaning to human dumpster fire. Having a perfectly romantic evening, and this caveman, it was romantic and you know it. So Pathfinder tells us this story of finding her and, oh, give me a break, there's nothing romantic about it. She's that thing that Revenant is. The word is simulacrum. Your average tween can say it. So I guess we know now when you stop developing your smart parts. These two are great together. I love how they've developed over time. And did I mention the random blood-curdling screaming? All I'm saying is, the point is, I win the bet. I like that the bet has actually been properly sort of carried on as a through line through here. Like, I don't know if it's going to amount to anything, but it'd be interesting if it does. So tired. Oh, Mama Wraith. Your call, Your Honor. Who won the bet? Is Ash Looney Tunes? Or is this the real deal? Don't forget which of us you share a history with. Stop kissing ass. Yeah, that's a little unfair. Enough. She doesn't sound all there. So normally I'd vote Mirage. But that dig about people with amnesia? Really? Know your audience. Yeah. Pretty unfair in the first place. But I think that the fact that Mirage is like almost denying that amnesia is a real thing is it's almost like a psychological reflex to his mother's sort of memory loss. He's almost like trying to hide from her illness or deny the fact that it can happen. He's like deluding himself to that extent. I think that's really interesting. That's really sad. It's really dark on sort of both levels there. And I like this bit here. You're a smart kid, but something about her is definitely off. You both win, or lose, depending on your perspective. And you both need to pay up. Wraith, stick in. Nice hard logic to the kiddies. I like how she's, one, taking this really strong middle ground, and how she's been sort of present, sort of popping up throughout the first ship thus far. It does make me wonder if she's maybe more key to this story than she first appears. Like, maybe this also has something to do with it. Dropship's leaving at noon tomorrow. Syndicate courier will be by for your gear in the morning. Just a handful of matches. Don't pack up your whole life. She's talking to you. I'm talking to you, Elliot. And don't be late. Yeah, the handful of matches makes me think that by the time the first ship is over, the legend sort of in-story will go to have some matches, the Apex Games, and whatever this story amounts to will change something for them going to those matches, and we'll probably see that corresponding change happen in the game as well. That's seemingly what this is leading up to, like halfway through Season 6. But again, I like that this is being followed through on. I like how the neon bounces off the linoleum, don't you? Don't know, too busy deciding on my free mod. A weapon seems inexpensive. I need bigger. A lot bigger. That's what she said, mate. She sure did. Again, I really like how these two, their chemistry, their relationship has developed, like, nice and quickly throughout the beginning of the first ship. Like, it's a much more settled situation than things were in the Broken Ghost, and there hasn't been as much of a forward-pressing plot. There's, less emotional motivation, like, Loba wanted Revenant dead. There was a pretty strong plot to be following on with. The first ship doesn't really have much of that at this point, which I think is kind of good. It's settling us back down after the high-tension, high-octane situation that was the Broken Ghost. Now that things are settling out, we're starting to sow the seeds of a new arc. Meanwhile, at Pathfinder's warehouse. Just getting supplies for tomorrow's match. I'll miss you, girlfriend. Yes, that will suffice. You're so sweet. I love you. Path. Like, that. No, yeah, he's so smitten, and I don't blame him, to be honest. And this line is kind of interesting to me as well, that will suffice, like, Pathfinder missing you will suffice? Oh, that's kind of cute. I imagine it is more likely just, you going out, cool, that's fine. But, I wonder if she is getting accustomed to the attachment here. I wonder if they are becoming more familiar. I'd like to see that. I think that'd be a really cool turn for Ash. Knock, knock. Oh. So Ash praying? Maybe she's a bit more religious than we actually thought, or faithful, maybe. What did you forget now, Path? I also like this. She maybe refers to Path as Path, or at least is calling him by name already. Just suggest maybe there's some of that familiarity there. But who gives a fuck? So this is how we bloody talk now, eh? Good, they're still fighting ya. Oh, Blisky boy, he's back. He is back. We knew it was him. I mean, it was obviously going to be him. The 5x5 thing referring to Viper in sort of any manner kind of really just sort of muddies this really strong storyline here. Like, getting Viper involved here is just kind of pointless, if you ask me. Ash and Blisk. That's where the story fucking is right now. We got a fight coming. Blades are about to cross the second time around. Is this a second fight? Is that what's going to come? Like, next chapter's definitely going to be them fighting. It better be, at least. That should really develop out the relationship between these two. Might even give some closure as to, like, where they stand and what that means for the future. But yeah, the second time around and what this is building to does make me a little suspect of how enamored Pathfinder is. Because I thought he was going to be the third wheel. I thought he was going to be the third wheel here, right? That can sort of fit Wraith in this situation. Come on, where is she? Yeah. The third wheel kind of fits Wraith here. Like, it can obviously apply to multiple characters, like the Broken Ghost did for at least Revenant and Ash, right? So the third wheel here, I thought was going to be Pathfinder. But I guess it's good that we've got these two just together. They can start hashing their stuff out themselves. And then, if Pathfinder were to come back and find them fighting, I mean, that's a nice bit of drama for Path already. We can get some emotional stakes involved here, like Path versus Blisk versus Ash. That's cool as fuck, right? But how enamored Path is does make me wonder if the second time around is in reference to these two having a much closer relationship than we've ever been shown. I mean, if you want to take it that far, if these two were lovers or they rekindle some kind of old flame mid-blade clash, oh damn, I mean, that's some high emotive tension anyway, right? But then you've got some genuine emotional stakes for Pathfinder, you've got a complex dilemma for Ash. Oh, that would hurt the poor guy, right? I mean, yeah, it would be bad enough if he came back and found them fighting. That would set Path off. Imagine if you found him smooching. Oh, damn. Drama. I mean, maybe it's going to be really nice and Path actually fights off Blisk and Blisk is there like, no, come join me again, love. I don't know why I gave him a Cockney accent. And then if Ash is there like, no, I want to stay with Path, that would be a really cool character development as well. There's loads of ways that next chapter, so yeah, here's the hype, right? Next chapter theoretically should give us the real juicy meat between these two. Phrasing not intended. And theoretically, that could all happen next chapter. Because if we've only got the one chapter left, like the single-digit chapter, that I'll call, like, the loneliest number, we'll call that the final chapter for now. The final chapter theoretically should set us up for what comes in the second half of Season 6, or, like, the new arc going forward. So theoretically, next chapter is just going to be these two fighting. And, like, we should actually get some real big development there. Like, as I said, the first ship has been slow goings, which has been good in its ways, and obviously not as good in others. It's been harder to invest in this story because it's been less personally driven by any grander overarching plot. It sort of has seemed to be sort of just chilling for now. It's a much more settled situation. And that's nice from what we've come off, right? But yeah, it's underneath it all. We've just had this undercurrent of what's coming here. So if you ask me, next chapter is going to be the big development between these two, hopefully through a fight. If they can give us some actual character connection while also giving us some sick-ass visuals and showing how badass these two are, that would be fucking awesome. You then throw Pathfinder into the mix, and we have ourselves potentially an arc set up for the second half of Season 6 and beyond. I'm looking fucking forward to that, if you ask me. But yeah, I think that's everything there is to say on the third wheel. Like, yeah, it's not a lot happened this chapter, but it sets up quite a lot going forward as well. Hopefully there's something to do with the bet, like what Rampart makes Mirage, if that ends up becoming something focal in the future, how Pathfinder feels about Ash, how Ash feels about Pathfinder and Blisk, whether we get a three-way fight, a one-on-one fight, whether we actually have Path and Blisk getting on. I think that'd be really fun. Like, there's a ton of cool shit to come next week. And while that might make this chapter not feel as good in its own right, the setup that it's providing is really cool, man. I think it's really worth it. Like, I do like how the fragmented sort of display they've used has helped this as well, that you really have to soak in each panel, and you've got this sort of suspense between each page turn, if you will. It'd be really cool to see this in an actual comic book and see how it reads as a full thing. I think that would be really, really interesting to see, because they've done really good work with the first ship, I think. It's not the same kind of story, and that's cool. Hopefully, it's now building back up to something we can all get fucking actually, like, invested in. Hopefully this is the second time around. But with that, I think that's all I really have to say on the third wheel for this week. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. Let me know how you found it down in the comments. And I will join you next week for the second time around. And we'll see if I figured the title of the final chapter just by chance, you know. With that, I've been Euclidean Vision, the emotional support. Take care of yourselves out there, teammates. And may the glorious light of Best Girl... Where is she? May the glorious light of Best Girl shine within you. And that will more than suffice. Bye-bye.